Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I'm your host, Jonathan Dugan, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, John Henningsen, and the guy without a gambling problem, Ben Crownover. Welcome, boys. How's it going?
Great.
Never been better, man. Right as rain. What a night in the sports world.
Yeah. Talk about it real quick, Henny. We don't have to wait till the end.
Yeah, I mean, so really enthused about going into the night. I mean, what could go wrong? We have the Diamondbacks and the NLCS coming off a nice win, so couldn't possibly anything could go wrong there. Before we know it, we're down 4-0, so that one feels bad. I will say, proud of the boys for battling back. They did hang around in that game, so showed some fight. Long series. Not going to panic there. As for the Chargers, they still exist. They still do what they do. I would just say, though, I mean, as much as like whatever the Chargers are, they are. I mean, I'm dead on the inside. That's fine. Really doesn't even bother me. That was a terrible performance by the NFL. Like, there's no way anybody could have possibly enjoyed watching that game. I don't know. You're just casual observers, but I mean, they kept 20 flags on the field and they picked up a bunch of others and got involved in a bunch of other things they didn't need to. I mean, that was just bad. And this is why I'm with this is why I ride and watch college football, because it's enjoyable. There's actual joy in it, one direction or the other. The NFL is completely just sucks. It's just stupid product. All the quarterbacks sucked all weekend. They throw too many flags. They cut the Taylor Swift when things are important are happening. All of it's stupid. It's all stupid. It's all dumb. No one likes
your
it.
wife enjoying that, by the way? Just that
She
Taylor
loves it.
Swift
Yeah,
has
she loves
taken
it.
over
Yeah,
the
she's
NFL.
having a good time. Yeah, she likes it. She's got like the Taylor Swift like NFL's version shirt. People sending me that shirt like weeks after she'd already been wearing it. You're late. She's on it. But yeah, mostly like honestly like my takeaway from the game tonight was just like it wasn't even fun to watch because they just threw a flag on every single play. I'm like, just tell me the NFL just Goodell just walk out in the middle, crown a team, and then let's move on. Like we can all just go about our lives. There's probably things I could have been doing that were productive, and instead I'm just watching. Just flag here, flag there, legal format. Now, granted, it's too bad or poorly coached teams, so you could make the argument that both these teams are fucking ass clowns. So sure, there is that argument. I would hear that argument. I don't think it's unreasonable, but at the same time, that was just absurd. It wasn't enjoyable. No one liked it. What are we doing? This is Monday night, and you let the refs take over the show.
Yeah, they certainly ruined it. I don't know if you would agree with this, but I thought it was kind of both sides were getting a shit ton of flags.
Oh yeah. I don't think like anybody got a bad end. I just thought it was bad to watch.
Yeah, just they weren't letting the boys play. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it was 9 to 11 penalties. I was just looking it up because
Yeah.
it's both teams were poorly coached. It's on the coach,
9/11,
right?
never forget. NFL is doing its best job not to. So,
By the way, I know Jason Whitlock is a not controversial person whatsoever, but he did have a good tweet today. He mentioned that only 2 NFL teams have scored more than 26 points as of this, like on this week, and it was the Dolphins and the Jaguars. Like maybe it's just we're dealing with bad quarterback play. I think Herbert and all his pimples may not be that good.
Dude, he's the only reason the Chargers are in the game, though.
I feel like he doesn't have acne, right? Like he doesn't, but like he looks like he should or he used to back in Oregon. I don't remember, but when I think about him, I think about him doing like an Activia, or is that the yogurt? Whatever.
Yeah, that's yogurt.
Proactive. Yeah, he's reminds me of like
Proactive. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's we're past
There's one
the
of the
exact.
Accutane.
We'll go with Accutane.
Yeah.
That's a good
the
one.
thing.
Yeah, we
I
can
just
all.
thought it was interesting. Like I realized today, I was like, this dude. When I think of Justin Herbert, I think of a dude with a bunch of zits on his face, and I don't think he's been that for like 3 years, if not longer. Henny, do you know by chance?
Yeah. I mean, I think his skin's mostly cleared up, but I mean, I was led to believe. I'll just say, as a young man, I was led to believe as I got older, I wouldn't have to deal with this at all, and I'll still get some. And I'm like,
dude,
damn, I'm gonna be 40, and I'm like, you're still gonna give me pimples? Like what is the point of aging at all? Is there any advantage whatsoever? I'm just as dumb as I was. I might actually know less than I used to know. At least I used to think I know things, and now I'm only wise enough to know that I don't. That's the
Yep.
only advantage, is to know that I'm stupid. What a crock of shit.
Yeah, getting old is dumb.
The worst.
Dude, I
Sorry,
will
I
say,
derailed it. I was trying to remember
No,
it when
I
you
think
guys were
that's
talking about
I
it.
think that's as
I was
good
like,
of a topic as we have.
I will say when I went to Europe, like I don't really get pimples very often at all, but like they completely went away when I was over there. So I think it is in the food. That's like
the
why it
FDA,
happens.
bro. Like, you want me to put my tinfoil hat on? I think we do a whole podcast on the FDA and the ATF and just how bullshit both are. I think that would sell during the summer.
Ben's
I'm in.
mad at the ATF because he can't get more than like 7 milligram anything.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it from the tobacco side of things. I was thinking more along the lines of the firearms piece, but sure, yes. Zyn is great. I do have my neon sign. I'll bust it out one of these days when I figure out how to do it properly in this lighting.
We'll take down the ATF one day, Ben. The Constitution
Someday.
allows us, you know. No, but dude, I will say that homeboy, he's the geekiest looking dude in the NFL, but he's so good. Like he's the only reason you guys are in games. Like him and Keenan Allen. That is it.
I don't
I
know,
don't remember
dude.
the
Daniel Jones is geekier for sure.
Well, Daniel
Oh,
Jones just looks like Eli
he has,
Manning's like dumb brother.
Daniel Jones is like unlevel eyes, which is problematic for me.
Right?
Yeah, it's like it's not good. I mean, a split level home, fine if that's what you're into. Split level face, not really for me. But Herbert, I think the record is, and I could be wrong on it, but the number is something like I think it was going into this game like 25-1 when we hold teams like under 24. And so I think this is his second loss when we've held teams under 24. If you can imagine what that life is like in terms of pressure, I might start growing few more pimples myself. I can only imagine what it's like to drop back 40 to 45 times a game. Never have a run game ever in the history of time. You're basically relying upon screens, draws, and just God's given right to throw the football. It's just a tough way to go, and yeah, it's bad coaching. It's there are not a lot of weapons on this team, especially. I don't even want to care. I don't even care about Mike Williams because, as documented, I'm not really wowed by him. But it's Keenan Allen show. It's just throwing to Keenan Allen as many times as you can during one game and hoping that works. And can we just win with like an NBA Jam version of an NFL offense? That's it. It's so bad. I mean, we're just so bad. The officials helped us. Actually, it might have even helped us a little bit tonight, if anything. Even though there was a ton of officiating involved and it was terrible, but no complaints on that end. Like from a bias standpoint,
Herbert was running for his life tonight too. I don't know if that's been
a
common theme all season.
It is every week. It's been like that since he came into the league. He's literally when they like track how far soccer players run. Like I bet you his like the amount that he runs per play is probably up there with receivers. That dude is constantly running for his life.
Yeah. I think, Ben, like you said, it's bad quarterback play so far this season. I think it's honestly bad offensive line play across the league. Like really
Andrew
the only
Whitworth,
team,
he retired and all of a sudden the league.
I think the only team that has a consistently good offensive line, well, two teams. And funny enough, they both lost this weekend, but it's the Eagles and the Niners. Like they've certainly built their team, built like around the offensive line. And like, look what they're able to do in the run game. Look what they're able to do protecting, their quarterback. Like that should tell you. I mean, I watch the Ravens every week. They do an okay job, like pass pro, but like they can't run block to save their lives, which obviously hinders the offense. You guys have your issues, like you saw tonight. Ben, your Steelers haven't been able to freaking pass block for like 3 years. So
yeah,
it's just bad. It's been bad.
Could be it, honestly. Like, I don't know, without diving into all of the different offensive lines, like I remember back when the Cowboys were like, they had that bum who ended up having like leading the league and rushing. Like, I remember that guy who I don't remember his name, whatever. Before Zeke, whatever, that dude, like, and it was
Marco
like they
Murray?
had, yes. And it was
former
like
Arizona running backs coach.
That's wild.
Made a pit stop.
But like they were so good, even with like crap offensive, like quarterback play, whatever. and then they got Dak and everything was saved forever because obviously they're great. But like, no, it's like any team that is actually good, Eagles, Niners, have an offensive line. It's like the simplest thing in the world. It's why the Steelers are bad because up until last year, they waited. The last time they took a first-round offensive lineman was 2012 when they took DeCastro out of Stanford. So it's like, dude, they literally, it's like, I know why the Steelers are bad. It's why the Colts got Andrew Luck to retire early. You see all these young quarterbacks come. Yep, you get all these quarterbacks to come in, and then they get destroyed. And it's like, hey, rather than fix the problem that made that, let's just keep getting them killed every week and get a new one in 3 years. It's bad.
Even tonight, dude, like my buddy Tyler texted me and he's like, dude, the Chargers offense is so boring. It's so vanilla. But like, if you can't pass pro, like you can't unleash those long bombs anyway, dude. It doesn't matter. You know, I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Herbert had what, like 2 or 3 seconds to throw the ball basically. And then Micah Parsons was in his face.
Yep. And then get ready to run right and then uncork one as you run for your life at full speed. So, I mean, he was above 50% throwing full speed running right, which isn't bad, with Micah Parsons chasing you. An extension of that, too, would be their terrible tight end room.
Did have a touchdown, though.
Cool. Caught a 1-yard ball in the flat.
It's like every Chargers tight end to me looks like they were like, all right, let's just grab a dude who was bad at basketball and then slap him on the offense, like, right there.
Too bad
Antonio Gates.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They're in these 2 tight end sets, which you think would then be like a threat to run the ball, but no. Parham catches the ball on 2nd and 20. This guy can't find the sideline fast enough. He is so afraid of contact. The guy is like 6'7", absolutely allergic to contact, which you have to love from your tight end. You have to love that.
To be fair, though, John, like that guy's leg got absolutely torn to pieces. When was it? 2 years ago?
Okay, so cut his ass, Dugan. He ain't a Pro Bowler. Like, see you later, pal. We got more knees coming in. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, dude. This isn't exactly like there are guys that like, yes, like I am willing to give that luxury to. But come on, dude. Like, and then like they're holding on to this guy like he's gold on this roster. And then Gerald Everett's just an absolute clown all the time, just doing stupid stuff. Like literally cannot complete a route the way anybody should. When he's in man, does he finish a route and continue to run through the zone? No. Like when he's in his zone, he should sit. He runs through like it's man. The guy has no clue what he's doing. It's absolutely. I've been complaining about Gerald Everett for over a year. That should not happen. Not Gerald Everett, dude. Like I can sit here and can complain about them hanging on to a left tackle that they believed in or something. Dude, tight ends. There's like 20 tight ends in the league from Iowa that are better than any tight end on our roster. That is frustrating.
9 of the top 10 tight ends in the league played for Iowa per Pro Football Focus, actually.
Who is 3 of those guys are punters.
Kittle, Laporta, Hawkinson. I'm not going to remember all of them, but I was like looking out like, holy shit, dude. Like,
every tight end in the league. Yeah.
Every tight end in the league.
All of them.
Yeah. Outside of Kelsey, Cincinnati. It's like you got like 9 tight ends. Penn State actually has a good amount of tight ends in the league, but it's like it's Iowa by a mile. Dude. Yeah. It's like it's insane.
It's crazy too because I remember for our NFL draft special, Henny, like you and I were screaming for the Chargers to go get a tight end too because like we both know like that's one of the weakest points in the offense. Instead, they go get QJ, who they're just refusing to use. Like, is he that bad, or is he just like? Is it just your coach?
He's not tall enough. I think they're addicted to tall guys.
He's like 6'2", isn't he?
He's pretty tall, yeah. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Palmer looks fine though in the 2 spot. I mean,
no, Palmer's good. Yeah. But if you have no time to throw the ball, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you're getting to like. He obviously. Dude, when there's 2 seconds, and which is what it was tonight, he looks like Keenan, and that's what it is. And he throws to Keenan, and it is like the whole offense runs through Keenan. Sometimes he'll check down and find Eckler, and Eckler's good in that role or whatever. But
that's really all Eckler is anymore, though, huh? Just kind of that dump off guy.
He's a midget.
I mean, like if they get the running game going, it's fine. But like they don't generally get the running game going. Like there's still no proof that we have a running game. We had a running game week 1. Yeah. That was the end of our running game. So, I mean, I haven't seen it since, and it's been, again, back to 40 to 45 passes a game from Herbert. And so they turn him into Tom Brady, and they're like, go ahead, just check down Tommy. But, if you like to win like that, you have to also play good defense and have good special teams. And that's really nothing that the Chargers have been doing or probably will be doing anytime soon.
Your defense is so frustrating because you guys have so many like individual like good guys that do show up from time to time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Morgan Fox has been good for you guys. Your edge rushers sometimes show up. Kenneth Murray made a few plays today, but it's just
he did.
like
He's
they
better when he
don't
doesn't have to be the center of the defense. Yeah.
they just don't ever do things like together. It's like individual plays. Like they'll have a sack and then they give up a 20-yard bomb. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's the best team of all time. 3rd and 20 is just, I mean, Staley can't figure that call out. 3rd and 20 is the trickiest defense for him to call. As soon as we're in 3rd and 20, I'm like, we're in a real nightmare scenario here. With the edge rushers we have and Derwin James, there's no way we can come up with the plan that could work. And sure enough, 6 flags, defensive
Yeah.
holding on every defensive back on the team, apparently. I mean, I don't know. That's just good officiating, I think. But Troy
get
seemed
too
to like the
handsy.
call. Troy actually was asking for more on the Chargers side. He didn't think we'd get called for enough. So,
God.
which, God bless Troy. I mean, he's just out there trying to make friends. Hopefully someone will like that guy someday. Man, what a nightmare. But the whole NFL this weekend, I mean, I don't know if we want, like, when we want to jump in, if we want to go to college football, but the NFL generally speaking was, yeah, like Ben said, bad quarterback play. I got a dachshund in here whining at me. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I thought it was
deal
a
with that.
door opening, dude.
I got my pit over here literally chewing on the world's biggest like toy. I think it's an alligator. And I'm not gonna. Did it already have the treat in its mouth whenever
It did.
or did he place that? Because that was pretty
No.
impressive.
It had that treat in its mouth already.
Did your dog come in with the treat in its mouth?
So that dog was hiding underneath those pillows. I didn't know that dog was in here until he started making his noises. So yeah, I guess he had his own treat. He seemed pretty upset that I was going to disturb his world, but to be fair, he was disturbing mine or ours, as it were.
No, dude, we're a pet friendly pod. So, your dog wanted to lick its butt the other time, and this time you have one just trying to enjoy the sweet sounds of Ben and I. So it's okay. More the merrier. No, there was a lot of bad quarterback play though this weekend. You're right. A lot of injuries too, dude. Garoppolo goes out with a back injury. Ryan Tannehill got absolutely destroyed, hurt the ankle that he had surgically repaired. Like Christian McCaffrey went out. There were a few others. A lot of injuries. A lot of bad football. And we had a whole podcast titled "The NFL's Bad Right Now," and it hasn't gotten really any better at all. College football is reigning supreme. In terms of if you like offense, go watch on Saturdays. Don't watch Sundays, right? Because there's a lot of bad shit going on. I did watch the Ravens play in London though.
You reverse jinxed it. I knew that was gonna happen. It's like, oh, they're
Yeah,
so bad.
such an effort. I know. It's such a good effort. He knows. He knew exactly what he's doing. He's like, look, here's the bet of the week: mortal lock. Mortal lock.
If you're not talking shit on your team, hoping to like reverse jinx, then you're not a true fan. All right, that's what Henny does every week. He talks shit about the Chargers, hoping it's going to work. It hasn't yet, but it will.
Started 2 tight ends in fantasy.
You
did win. That's a win.
Like
that's how you do it. You score less points. You score less points, and then you put a W up. That's how fantasy works. You don't do any. Don't listen to Chase. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Come to me. Start 2 or 3 kickers. See if you can mix in a couple of Saints backup quarterbacks in your tight end position. He'll be right back. Right as rain.
Who did you start at tight end?
Darren Waller and Komet. I got a combined 5 points and still locked into W. I've been scoring points. It's been a points bonanza on my fantasy team, and then I get outscored every week. So I went to the inverse. I was like, what if I try to go low? You know what I mean? Let's race below the hard deck. Yeah, have you seen Top Gun? It's a race to get below the hard deck. Play dirty, play mean, fly into a mountain, no regard for taxpayer money, and that's how you get a W in fantasy football.
Out here playing awesome.
I hate the NFL. I hate the NFL. That's what I'm telling you. I fucking hate the NFL. It's so stupid. It's not enjoyable. No one likes it. We should only talk about college football.
We can definitely do that because Ben's itching.
I'm down. Would you? I'd like to start out officially with I have an apology.
Here we go.
I have I'm going to kind of gaslight Dugan here a little bit. Because
you never do that every week. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
I'm not drinking, by the way, friggin' chocolate milk and peanut butter whiskey. We went with water tonight.
Wow. Whoa, dude. Water sucks. Anyway, so like this has been my worst year of college football gambling, and I broke a couple cardinal rules. I've been doing things the wrong way to try to appease Dugan. I wanted to have picks. I felt like it was better content. And ultimately, like I allowed Dugan and this podcast to get in the way of me making sound and logical picks.
Before you go on, hold on.
Nope.
This
I'm
is
in the
50 share between me and Henny. Okay, like this is our pod. This is not Dugan's pod.
Henny has never once been like, I can't not record on a day other than Sunday. So it's like I get the early lines. I'm picking dog shit. I've already said on the podcast what I'm gonna do. So then I just like get absolutely like I'm like, oh, dude, well, people are gonna know I'm a fraud. I'm posting my picks, all that stuff. So it's like ultimately like my fear of rejection and my fear of disappointing Dugan has led me to do some things that are just diametrically opposed to the process that has made me a success over the last 2 years and the reason why I've been on this podcast. So moving forward, things I will do. I will tell you my initial thoughts on games. I will no longer bet the ACC. I will no longer do over-unders and against the spreads in the same game. I will stop betting Florida State overs. I will stop betting teams to cover against Florida State. And ultimately, I'm just going to trust my gut because I am officially 3 games under 500. I am not happy. It's been rough. It's been rough.
And green egg doing that, buddy. Let me tell you.
I don't want a green egg, bro. I'm already all smokered out. But no, I'm just glad that I didn't put in the amount of money I wanted to put into the apps because it would be a lot harder to not try to like throw it all in one game and fix it. I've had a process. I deviated from it, but this will improve from this point forward. Going on, I should always know too when I get like the Hail Mary West Virginia Houston game is how your weekend of gambling starts. It doesn't get better. It never gets better. You don't win with a Thursday game like that. And
a tough start.
I used to literally never bet ACC, and I'm like looking at my card. I got Louisville. I got Florida State. I got Syracuse all over this thing. It's disgusting. I bet
you never did that last year.
I know I didn't. I just did overs. I did overs in those games. Those are the only things I did. And then I bet Big Ten and SEC spreads, Pac-12 over-unders, Big 12 over-unders. I will return to what has made me the man I am today. It was a bad week last week. Not good. I don't know where to go from there other than it's Dugan's fault. And I'm very, very mad at myself that I'm 3 games under through 7 weeks.
Well, I could tell you how you could remedy this at least a little bit.
I already came up with a solution.
Okay. You're gonna bet every Pac-12 game. Okay. Yep. And you're gonna make sure with Arizona, you're taking them. Okay. Just the points. All right. That's how you're gonna win. Yeah, so we're not doing money lines here. All right.
No, we don't. But there were some good games obviously last week. The problem is that I fell for some of the sucker lines. I literally said, I was like, USC is going to lose multiple games this year. Why would it make sense that the first good team that they really play would beat them on the road? It's like, of course that makes sense. Of course, U of A is good. I was going to give them a compliment later, by the way.
4-3, Dugan. I mean, we can calm down. We don't have to I don't think that's hair on the back of the neck. I'm stand up every time we get disrespected at 4-3. I mean, it's reasonable minds can differ.
I'm riding high. I'm sorry.
I know you should.
But I appreciate it. But yeah.
He's like a Latino girlfriend who's like ready to attack. Like if somebody looks at their man, like that is Dugan with
Don't bring my wife into this.
I'm not talking. All right, keep my.
I know, but the way she looks at me, honestly, Dugan, is a little. I mean, I'm just trying to make small talk. I mean, stand down, Jen. It's relax. Me and Dugan are just having a good time. Okay, it's no more than that.
Yeah.
The that game, like, they made a blueprint that the next, I don't honestly know the exact next 3 games, but like the next 4 or 5 games USC has, they could lose every one of those. They legit could lose every single one of those with how much they have neglected to address the issue on defense. The
Also, terrible offensive line.
Offensive line has been bad. The thing is, he always looked like he could escape it until this week. He really, like, legitimately just, I mean, they killed him. They absolutely killed him. I think he had 3 picks in his career up until that point, and then he just threw 3 picks in one game.
In one
I
half.
literally, dude, I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I can't believe they're like, my son's like watching some. I'm like, no way. And he's like, what? I'm like, USC is so bad. He's like, who's that? And I'm like, don't worry about it, dude. They're just not good. But like,
dude,
they
is
could
USC the Chargers of college football?
I mean,
a lot of talent, but no offensive line, no defense.
I mean, it might be half the league at this point. I don't know.
Familiar. Yeah, I don't know.
But like, dude, they were so bad. They were so bad. Notre Dame wasn't that impressive, in my opinion, outside of the defensive line. And it was like they destroyed them. Like, they literally destroyed them. And it was like, they even had the special teams like give up a kick return. It's like, of course, like, it was just and of course, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't like it, but there's a plus sign, so I take it. I lose the bet. Stupid.
Well, I gotta tell you, I mean, I take my own little part of this ownership. I was like, there's no way between Oregon and USC. If you take both of those both felt like coin toss games to me. I'm like, look, you're gonna catch the plus side odds on one of those. There's I mean, how could that possibly go wrong? Except for me saying it on this recorded podcast.
Yeah, you guys were.
So I just wanted you to know I'm taking some ownership in what's happened to you too. I do think the cardinal rule should apply to Louisville specifically. There's a cardinal rule that you should just never probably bet on Louisville. They got pitted by your alma mater, which was just kind of epically hilarious. I did have to laugh at that one and chuckle a little bit on the inside on that one. But the rest, I felt your pain. I did chuckle at the Pitt game, but everything else, it was painful, man.
It only took a Penn State quarterback for Pitt to be decent this year. Anyway,
who's their quarterback?
Christian Bayer. He was Elite 11 finalist from Canada, but transferred when we got. No, dude, the Oregon Washington game was awesome, absolutely incredible. Awesome. That was like, I knew they throw it out there. They're like, oh, that's an instant classic. Like, I know that, like, probably 12 years from now, I'll see that on like ESPN Classic or whatever sort of like technology they just blast that into my brain with at that point in the world. And I'll watch every second of it. Like, that game was absolutely amazing. Bo Nix looked great. They outgained Washington. And it was just, honestly, like, it was a perfect college football game. College football game. And it ends because the college football kicker can't hit a field goal. What else would you expect?
I have a hot take.
Go ahead.
Is it hot takey to say that, and I know this will sound really homer, but is the Pac-12 better than the SEC this year?
Honestly, they might be. I mean, you're talking about a couple teams.
Quarterbacks.
Obviously, the quarterbacks are great. By the way, if you want to talk about U of A now, U of A has held Cam Ward, Michael Penix, and Caleb Williams to one combined touchdown between the 3 of them in 3 games. That is absurd. The defense has looked really good, and obviously Fafita is amazing. I was at a little kid's birthday party on Saturday, which, by the way, right up there with fall weddings, fall little kid birthday parties, because they got to do it right before nap time, and it's like you miss the fourth quarter in the 9 a.m. slot, and then you miss the first quarter in the 12 p.m. slot. And I'm sitting there, and it's like, I don't want to interact with anybody. I don't need any more friends. I'm 30. But like, there's a dad there who's clearly bored, and I'm like sitting there like checking the scores while my kids are running around. And he just kind of leans over. He's like, what do you think about Fafita? And it's like, we talked for like 2 hours. He's my friend for the party. Fafita's incredible. We already did all the fun stuff about him last week, but like, dude, U of A is good. U of A is good.
The defense is
And
nasty for sure.
some's different, man. I don't know. It's not Rich Rod's team anymore.
No, they built up in the trenches, dude. Like
Hmm.
a lot of their transfer portal guys were all like defensive linemen. They got just big bodies, like Bill Norton from Georgia, big dude. They got that kid from Indiana, another big nose tackle, Upshaw from Michigan. Dude, they hit the Big Ten pretty hard, and they got some of those big boys that you guys have up in the Big Ten, and they finally built themselves a D line that can actually get pressure, and they have those tall, lanky corners, in Prysock, Stukes, and then who was the other one, Henny, that looked real good this weekend? Um, God damn it, I can't remember his
Corner
name. Yeah,
Maldonado.
no, Maldonado's a safety. I'll find it, but their corners have been really good too. Like, just overall the defense has been spectacular. Their linebacker play has been great. He'll make a boneheaded mistake, but he's nasty. I me personally, I haven't seen a defense like this probably since Stoops. I don't know what you
Yep.
think, Henny.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly where it lies. I think it is. I mean, the defense is
Tacario
blowing my
Davis, by
mind.
the way.
Thank you. And the scare for that is this is classic paranoid Arizona thinking. I'm immediately like, how long before our DC leaves? I'm like, what do we have to do? I was like, what is the NIL deal that we have to get the DC to keep him around? Because I mean, I wasn't even certain, right? He came over from Chip Kelly and running that defense, which wasn't, I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't
No.
bad. But there was really no reason to think like, oh, there's like absolutely no doubt our defense is gonna play out of their mind. And then last year, I mean, coming into this year, it was like, hey, they could not finish 12th, we could be competitive. And to flip it to this is insane.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
It's
Washington
crazy.
State was like lighting the world on fire with their offense, at least, and they just held them to a freaking touchdown. Like, absolutely insane, dude. And then, like Ben was saying, to play back to back Michael Penix and Caleb Williams and do the things that they did to those guys that really nobody else has done outside of Notre Dame now, like absolutely insane. So it's fun. The only issue is a lot of those guys on the D line are seniors. So you gotta dip into the portal again. I will say,
We just landed 2 big DN recruits though, so it's like not a problem.
yeah, I was about to actually comment on that. I'm loving all of the just backhanded bullshit that the coaching staff is doing in press conferences because the Sal Point kid, with Elijah
Cushing.
Rushing, his
Yeah,
whole
Rushing.
post about decommitting was about how he doesn't feel like he can get developed at Arizona because they're not there yet. And both Coach Fish and like a bunch of the GAs, a bunch of just staffers have said, man, if you want to come and develop, Arizona's definitely a place. Look at Fafita, look at Tacario Davis, look at Prysock, and they're not wrong, dude. Like, they're doing a great job of developing these kids. So if you're a 5-star, and you're already got that talent, I don't know why you wouldn't want to come to a program like this. Definitely like a people's program, like they are definitely empowering these kids, creating a culture.
We have EGs, dude. Like, come on,
Yeah,
come to
we got
U
ranch
of A.
fries, dude.
People lie, numbers don't, baby. Come on down.
So I'm excited to see the rest of the season. I think since probably the Washington game, I think I've gone into every game now pretty confident that we can at least do well. And they've exceeded expectations. I thought they would have a come down moment this past weekend because they played back-to-back just emotional games, and they went out there and just kicked ass, dude. What they have, dude, like I think 6 rushing touchdowns, right? Or
Yeah,
7 maybe?
because like Fafita wasn't throwing touchdowns. Like we just kept
No.
jamming it down their throat with the run game, which is
Yeah.
like by far the best thing you can do. There's
Jonah
nothing better
Coleman's
for your quarterback, for football, for everything than just running the ball down people's throats.
Jonah Coleman's a dog, dude. He's the future too. That guy looks so much like Marshawn Lynch or like who
we have
else
SEC sized running backs.
We do. There's some big boys. We do have DJ Williams, who was in the SEC. He was at Auburn. He's also an ACC
Yeah,
guy.
he looks
was at
like
Florida State.
He looks very SEC.
He's a big boy. No, it's refreshing, dude. And like Ben's known me for a long time. He's known you for a long time. Like we always try to talk about Arizona football, and it's always been kind of the running joke. But like I think we're going to go into the Big 12 next year and actually be very, very competitive.
Till Dion gets 80 more transfers and just retools the entire roster.
If
You're back on the Dion train. I knew it. Get the shades back out, Dugan. Fire it up. Let's restart the pod.
You think that he's going to stay at Colorado, though?
No, he won't. But next year he probably will.
You think?
Yeah. But by the way,
A&M isn't going to fire their coach?
I don't even want to talk about Dion. I hate him. No,
yeah, that's a good combo though. It's like
the Stanford game was like one of the most absurd comebacks ever. And that was
catch,
what,
dude?
Was that Friday night?
Yes.
Dude, I don't even. It's distant memory now at this point. I didn't have any money on it, but like that was insane. Wasn't Shador tweeting something out during halftime or something? It's like, Jesus Christ. That's how the Steelers fell apart. You had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell doing the same thing.
To be fair, though, he probably has like somebody doing his social media, but they're just not doing it well.
It's like, don't do that during the game, intern. I need you to wait until the game's over. But Dion's post-game press conference was like, they just don't love football as much as me. It's like, dude, at some point you're the coach, and you should never, ever, 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 ever lose a game up 29-0 against Stanford, who literally a bunch of nerds. We already talked about nerds earlier. Bunch of nerds.
That catch
you know how
was
I feel
sick,
about nerds on this podcast.
No nerds. This is not a nerd safe place. Positive. I don't know. Whatever.
That catch was over Travis Hunter too, huh? In the end zone.
Yeah, God, that was wild. That was like, I love those catches because you just sit there and you're like, dude, that's gonna be like, you remember it for the rest of the year. That like random over the helmet, like something like either it's like it has always has to do with the helmet.
Him.
It always has to do with the helmet. But that was wild. I will admit I was wrong on Purdue. I think Ohio State was concerned about Penn State, but
didn't look like it.
didn't look like it. That was rough. Kentucky, my theory of team coming off a loss going back home, they got walloped by Mizzou. That was depressing.
Mizzou's actually kind of good though, right?
They are good. I seen Kentucky like destroy Florida, like made me think that they were better than they are, but like no.
Florida's just that bad.
Then again, unless
in which case you better believe Curb Stomping's a coming.
Who also beat Texas A&M this weekend.
Yes,
wild game there too.
That was my most profitable game of the week. I had 4 units on that one, 3 on the under and 1 on the spread. And dude, we know exactly what Tennessee is. They just run the ball. They don't even try to have Milton throw it deep. If they do,
they shouldn't. He's awful.
He's really bad. Maryland got upset by Illinois. Finally, that preseason Big Ten hype caught up in Illinois was dangerous once. Troy covered, but they're on a bye, so I don't know what to do for the degenerate pick of the week.
I think you get a pass. I think you get to pick like somebody new.
Don't let Big Pod push you around, Ben. You just trust your gut, man.
Dude.
Remember, you're a probiotics guy now. Gut health is important. You're no young man. You got to protect that gut.
But this is a perfect example. On the podcast, I said I was afraid of taking the 5.5 points for Rutgers against Michigan State. Mm-hmm. I had correctly the over of 41.5, and then Dugan was like, "Well, you can't do that." And Big Pod pushed me into a corner, and I took Rutgers -5. They won by 3. They came back from like 17-6 or something like that in the first half. But like that's a classic example of Big Pod just taking it from the little guy.
When did I become Big Pod?
I don't know.
Dude, as soon as you stopped wearing sleeves, bro, you've been Big Pod and you've been bullying people and packing them into corners. You know you've been like that, dude. Stop acting like you don't know when you're doing it. You know what you're doing, dude.
First of all, if Ben is getting pushed around by the likes of Big Pod, I have questions.
I want to just say it's because I want people to not, think that I would not. I've been hot on Rutgers, and I was like, I sensed it was the wrong game. And Dugan's like the devil on your shoulder who just tells you, oh, all these people who like you don't even know are listening. All these like women are watching you on YouTube. They don't want to think you're a liar. Like and it's
Dude,
like
this bed is it's a hotbed on the Jersey Shore. There's a bunch of Sammys out there who think you're a big deal, Ronnie. They think you're a big deal. Come on, do it, Ben.
and then I take Rutgers. So it's a rough week. I'm off Syracuse forever and always. They will never connect on a deep ball, and that was my slate. It was rough.
I think you're just off the state of New York and the state of New Jersey for a while.
Penn State did cover for the 13th straight game, which was awesome. But yes.
Are they going to do it this week?
You can't tell. You can't even tell because the stupid mirror. Shirt says worst state ever. It's Ohio State.
You can tell,
hate week.
Ben. You're
It
fine.
reads this way. Yeah, we're good. You're good.
You
It
can
works.
see it?
It
Okay.
does. Yeah.
Okay.
I was
No,
like,
dude.
no, worst state ever. We got you.
This is the game I've been waiting for literally since Sean Clifford stepped off the field for the last time on January 2nd in the fourth quarter of the Rose Bowl. Like this is going to literally destroy me or make me insufferable to be around. This is everything. Like Michigan, we could lose to Michigan. I don't really care, but we have to beat Ohio State.
No, that's not fair. You should want to beat both of them. Come on.
No, but there's a lot of realistic scenarios where like there's a 3-way tie. We beat Ohio State beats Michigan, all good, and then Michigan beats us. It's like literally like all three 11-1 teams. We're talking the college football playoff would be Georgia, and then Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. That'd be incredible. I can see it happening. By the way, Iowa, I forgot to mention.
That's going to be hilarious, though, when they take Washington over Penn State with a one-loss Washington team, and you're just outside looking in with your worst state ever shirt on. Dude, I mean, don't do this to yourself. I'm telling you, I'm trying to. This is small pod talking to you. Don't do this, man.
I know.
Don't say these things.
Big pod and small pod coming at you.
No, it's
What would you do really quick though? What would you do if they took a Pac-12 team over Penn State?
They took Washington in 2016 over Penn State when Penn State was 10-2. We were number 5. Yeah, I mean it's what happens. I get it. Like we've literally been outside twice, in 5 or 6, and they've taken whatever.
It's going to put a weird twist on that instant classic when you're watching it 10 years from now with that Oculus thing on your face, though. And you're like, oh, this game's a classic, man. Yeah, this one win carried them over the Penn State in the playoff. That's so cool. God, that's cool.
I need the Pac-12 to do. I need the Pac-12 to do Pac-12 things.
Cannibalize itself?
They will.
Yes,
yeah, they
100%.
I would count on
them. Yeah, Utah will beat one of them.
Dude, this is just so important. Like, this is so important. This game is probably an under, and they've been overs like the prior 2 years because you had CJ Stroud and all that stuff. But like, I literally have been just like crushing news articles and podcasts and looking at stats. Last year, Penn State was up going into the fourth quarter. Do you know what happened halfway through that game? Olu Fashanu, the projected first offensive tackle off the board in the NFL draft, got injured halfway through the game, and then JT Tumalao or whatever, Polynesian dude, number 7 or whatever in college football, basically had like the fourth quarter of all time, had like I think 4 sacks, 3 sacks, fumble recovery, interception, all that fun stuff. Like Penn State did not have their starting right tackle or left tackle in the fourth quarter against Ohio State last year, but we had Sean Clifford, right? Hell yeah, brother. Right on. He should probably start over Jordan Love at this point anyway. But no, dude, like legit, like they have been so close since 2016. They have been so close. It has to be this game. If it's not this game, I don't know when it's going to happen again. Like this will crush me in a way that you guys have never seen me crushed, because I'm optimistic about one team that I like, and it's Penn State until Ohio State week, when normally they kill me. And I'm screwed. Like Penn State is the number 1 defense in the entire country. They allow 72 rushing yards per game, 140 passing yards per game. The starting 2 defensive backs have not allowed a passing touchdown this game. Or this season, I apologize, and neither has allowed more than 100 yards in 6 straight like 6 games combined, they have not allowed 100 yards. Penn State
Who have you
leads the
played,
country.
though?
We played West Virginia and Iowa, who literally are pretty decent teams compared to a lot of these other ones. Like Iowa's going to be the Big Ten West champ. I don't know what to tell you. They're gonna be 11 and
So
1.
gross.
I know. And then they're gonna have to fire their offensive coordinator.
It's stupid. But like, dude, it is insane. Like they lead the country in sacks. They have the best defense in the entire country. They have their offense has turned the ball over once through 6 games, and it was literally a fumble from our second team receiver last week, who's missed all but the West Virginia game. Like the offense has been kind of boring. I know it, but like they lead the Big Ten in rushing yards. They lead the country in turnover margin. They lead the country in sacks. They lead the country in total defense and scoring defense. If they don't win this year, I am literally destroyed. I am going to be destroyed because they have so many first-round players on this team, and it's Ohio State's weakness is offensive tackle. Notre Dame killed them and almost won, should have won, with literally their defensive line, who is not as good as Penn State's. We have more talent than Notre Dame does, and like if they lose, I am destroyed. I'm taking money line, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on Saturday. And Big Ten Fox kickoff at noon. Stupid that they even do this. It's so dumb. But positive note: last time Penn State won in Columbus, they had a quarterback from Pennsylvania. A little Terrell Pryor from Jeanette, PA. They got Kyle McCord from Philadelphia, St. Joe's Prep. You know, the stars are aligning. We just beat them whenever they have Pennsylvania quarterbacks because you shouldn't betray your
Pretty
state.
sure Terrell Pryor just quarterbacked the Browns this weekend. Who won that fucking game? Like, who the hell was that? What was going on?
The PJ Walker's a stud, man. I don't know.
And who's that guy from the Raiders, by the way? Like, it's the guy that came in after Garoppolo?
Hoyer,
Where did that guy come from? No, not Hoyer. Okay, no, not Hoyer. Who was the other backup quarterback that came in?
Aiden
I was like,
I don't know. Dude,
no.
Aiden O'Connell's actually really
There's
good.
dudes I never even seen before in my life. But sorry, I got sidetracked.
You're good. I just like this has to be the year. And like I can't record Sunday if they lose Saturday. Like I can't because like I won't be emotionally ready. If they win,
Are you able to?
I don't know what I do.
Are you able to make like like the sad Washington Husky dog?
I do.
No.
Whatever
You ever seen that on the internet? No, I'll send it to you. See if we can get a Nittany Lion just doctored up a sad one, just in case.
I can probably make that happen. Yeah.
AI is incredible these days. You know, like you can probably.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can actually. I'll message my friend. We can have that thing in no time. Just kidding. By the way, if you want those, Ben, I got a buddy firing up some real creepy AI stuff. I can just start firing that your way if you just need to look at something weird in the middle of your workday. But
yeah, they are great.
Outside of the emotional plea, like this is, I think it was.
I can't even detract him, even if I try.
Sorry.
No, this is his stage
hilarious.
right
I'm like,
I'm sorry.
what if? What if?
It's the best game of the week.
He gave us our Arizona talk,
good.
so
You're good. No, you're good. Yeah.
5 years ago, James Franklin ended his Ohio State Penn State post-game conference talking about how Penn State was a good team. They were not an elite team. And that has been the whole mantra. Literally, it's like, how do you get better? They've done things like hire incredible coordinators. They've gotten better players. They've done all these different things to, like, in theory, close that gap. They've been so goddamn close that if they don't this year, I don't know if it realistically will ever happen because like they could have kicked the door open in 17 and 18 when they lost by 1 point each of those games. So
yeah, if it doesn't happen this year, it's more of like a culture thing then, right?
You have to put the Joe Pa statue back up.
Yeah, I mean,
is that the move?
That's actually, there's a lot of urban legends about that being hidden. And nobody knows where it's at. Like, there's some really good articles actually out there.
They've been hiding a lot of things at Penn State for quite some time. I don't have any doubt that they can hide that thing. I mean, I don't know. Kind of walked right into that one, Ben, but I'm sure it's yeah.
God, that was really good.
Here's the last two things I'll say about it. Penn State is as healthy as they can be. Outside of their left guard, who could play, James Franklin has been very cagey. Like our starting left guard from last year, who was a top 100 recruit, had to medically retire start of the season. We have JB Nelson, who is the number one junior college guy, but he got injured 2 weeks ago. So in theory, as long as they have him, that is like the only injury they have. The other, like, and they've been resting their guys. They legitimately had, dude, they've done crazy stuff. Like they have a lot of focus has been put on like Penn State's explosive play rate, but their running backs, I think, have a combined 6 carries in the fourth quarter the entire year. They literally have Alar has played like 1 series, I think, in the fourth quarter all year. Their starting receivers have not played all year in the fourth quarter. Like last week against UMass, the highest snap count for any starting receiver was 10 snaps. The highest snap count on defense was 37 snaps. Like they have not played they've been as healthy, rested as they can be. They have one concern, and that's the tight ends cannot run block as well as last year. But like they're good pass catching tight ends. Maybe the Chargers can draft them, and we'll kind of see where it goes. But dude, this is the year, and I'll stop talking about it because I think that's probably like 12 minutes on Penn State. But it's money line or nothing, and I just crumble into a ball.
I'm a believer, Ben, because you guys shut down Anthony Simpson. So,
by the way, where's my Ovaltine, bitch? If you want to look at other games, by the way, I actually already have a degenerate pick of the week. I'm on Sam Houston State, the 0-6 Conference USA team, at home against FIU. It is I think, Wednesday game. So if you're looking for some Wednesday action, I'll be on Sam Houston State -5. What the fuck is wrong with me? Rutgers, I do like this week on the spread. Indiana actually has the worst offense in the Big Ten, not Iowa. Unbelievable to think about, actually. So I'm on.
Tell me about that Iowa under, though. Tell me about that Iowa under this week. I'm fiending for it.
The lines
Tell me what they've done.
Even, I think it went down to 31.5, and it's like about to move back up. That is the scariest under I think I've ever seen in my entire life. 31.5 was what I saw earlier. I'm just trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Back up to 32.5. I might take Iowa -3.5. Because again, 12-5, whatever horrible, ugly score that is, I'm on that. I'm gonna go back to Pitt being Pitt, having Wake Forest cover, and then Alabama, Tennessee. Like Alabama's defense is so good that, like specifically against like the rushing game, like I would expect Alabama to cover and win. I think people are probably a little higher on Tennessee than they should be. I will try Oregon to rebound in a big way. I don't know how deflated they are, but that's a team who just lost going back home against the spread. I'll try it out and see how it goes. And honestly, that's most of what it is. By the way, actually, there is one other one. UCF, not like a team I love, but I didn't realize this until I was doing all my stat crunching. Oklahoma is I think they're second in the country in turnover margin. They've only turned it over like twice. Eventually it happens, and when it happens, like you want a big spread to be on the other side of it. UCF's at 19 points right now. I could see that being like either a backdoor cover or just like a sloppy game. But that's an interesting one that I like in theory to be, fun.
Hey, Ben. I don't know if you can see that. I just ordered you some Ovaltine.
That's not the brown jar.
It is the brown jar.
I looked white to me, dude.
No, dude, it's the brown
like
jar.
The bottom of the screen at the top, you can see it. He kind of had it blocked out in the order, but there was some.
Okay, all right. They used to be brown glass, dude. In this economy, everybody's cutting costs. Ovaltine's going to plastic. Unbelievable.
What a bummer, dude. Yeah.
I don't know.
Comes in on Thursday.
I almost, it's funny. I put on that big rant about things I was going to do. I looked at my bet slip. I hadn't placed them. I had Duke to cover against Florida State. I'm like, no, I just said I won't do that. I had a Miami against the spread. I cleared it out. I'm not touching them. I'm done. I'm done with the ACC spreads.
I hate betting the ACC. I don't understand the ACC. I never have. I never will.
You can't even watch it.
It's like just not. I mean, I think it's like I don't hate watching it. Like Miami, North Carolina was fun because Miami is so not back. Like I kind of enjoyed watching that, but it's like, I'm with I hate betting the ACC. I don't know how anybody lives that way. That's a weird football conference. That
It's
is
because
like
they have a
not.
good team this year, right, in Florida State. So I just keep thinking it's just going to implode, and it hasn't. Because like in the prior, like last year, Clemson was not good. Their offense sucked. So you just took like
Yeah.
these massive spreads to cover, and it worked. But it's like, oh, Florida State's actually good. No, like they're actually good. Did you see
Isn't
that
North
catch? By
Carolina
the
pretty
way,
good too?
they are very good too. They have two good teams. I don't care. I don't want to touch them. I'm gonna get killed like if I do, because every time I have, I've lost, and part of it's because I keep betting Syracuse. But
Not a big Jim Boeheim fan.
And dude, he used to pick his like nose all the time on TV. He was a big weirdo.
Guy was coaching there for 50 years, man.
All my energy is gone.
That seemed like too long.
I just got so excited about Penn State, Ohio State. I have to wait 5 more days.
What's
My
the
son
plan,
does this.
Ben?
My son
I do
does
like
this all the
that.
time, by the way. He goes, "Hey, how many more sleeps until this?" But you got to double it up because he takes naps during the day. So like you know, I don't. So I got I think 5 more sleeps until Penn State, Ohio State.
Just be thankful it's not 10 sleeps.
Yeah,
I know, right? That'd be very rough. Well,
Imagine his life.
It's
Yeah.
like, dude, this is crazy. He's like, can I just stop sleeping so much?
What's the plan for the game?
I haven't decided. I really haven't decided. I've been asked to go to somebody's house who streams games, and to me, I can't do that.
No,
not because I obviously like I recognize technology is better than it has been. But I remember it was like 5 years ago. I was trying to watch some stupid game, and it was buffering. I'm like, bro, I don't know what people's internet speeds are. I can't go to your house.
Henny's been in
knowing
my house
that I have it on
big
TV.
frame rate guy. Yeah, I'm a frame rate guy now too. I'm like, what's your frame rate over here? Can we talk about that? I also like that you protected Boeheim and just went on Booger Eater when he literally killed a guy. I mean, not bad.
Well,
I think that was kind of you let him off easy. I mean, you let him off the hook. Remember when he ran that guy off the road like and killed him?
Fun fact, by the way, did you guys
seem like
know
his worst bet?
Did you know Matthew Broderick also killed 2 people in a car?
Yeah,
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a fun fact, dude.
Yeah.
Like these are just fun facts.
Ferris
Bueller,
huh? Ferris Bueller.
Overseas too, man. Like, dude, it's wild. No, I mean, I'm just so used to celebrities killing people. I don't think about it that much anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Boogers, like Ted Cruz to me could kill 6 people. I wouldn't remember him for that. I remember the booger like falling out of his nose during the debate. Like boogers are like, you want to make me remember something.
Was he also the fly guy where there was just flies going around him?
Yeah,
that was Pence. Okay, yeah.
Memorable,
like
dude.
right here.
Yeah.
Boogers, bodily fluids, insects, whatever you want to do. That I remember that. I don't remember how many people Obama killed with his drone program. Like nobody thinks about that, you know.
No.
In political on the pod, I like it.
I already mentioned ATF. Why not roll with it? I'm already on a list for those guys anyway. But no, like
I was like, yeah, dude. Once you bring up Big Pod, it's all slippery slope from there. You know what I mean? Slippery slope once you go Big Pod.
Where's the Epstein client list? All right, I'm just kidding. Maybe that's where all my winners went. They're all on a random island, so they're not here.
There are no statues just holding the client list somewhere in a basement. That's like ridiculous.
I am. My brain is fried. But no. Long story short, I'll probably be drinking your Ovaltine, and I'm either going to be by myself, just like very upset, or I will be somewhere where I will make sure there is nobody who will be happy at me being upset. Because that's one thing I cannot stand. I'm a dick with that. Like I can't watch football games with people who will root against me. Like you are with like I love echo chambers for sports only. Like don't make me interact with people who will be like, oh, you're sad. I'm like, you don't fucking know how sad I am. Like I'm a broken man right now.
I watched this exact game with Ben 2 years ago, and by the end of it, he's like, man, thanks for not being a dick. I was kind of worried about it. But I wasn't. I was in the foxhole with you.
No, that matters a lot.
It does. Like if you care about anything in life as much as like men generally care about like their football teams, like sometimes it's just not good to be the dick to your friend. Like they're going through it if they really care. And I
would say that's probably the worst type of person. Like when the Ravens lost to the Steelers,
fall weddings,
I got like 7.
and
I got like 7
in
text
fall
messages.
Reddings and Chris Wynn would be my list. People not to watch a game with if you do not want to. Boy, does that guy love someone else's pain. And boy, can you beat him up. Like, he's so easy to beat up. Have you ever thought about killing Chris Wynn? I think about it a lot. He listens sometimes, so we'll see if he catches that. Yeah,
Oh man, I hope he's doing well.
he's good.
I see him out at bars all the time. He's got a good social life.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah,
Popular guy.
Lots of friends.
I hope his dad listens to this and now he gets a call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have a problem?
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I hope Ben drinks that refreshing Ovaltine with some peanut butter whiskey just to try it out. Just say you will. You don't have to actually do it. It'll just make me feel better. But
Sure.
big week ahead of us. Ben's going to be on pins and needles, so I'll make sure not to bother him when we're at work. Won't bring up the game after this one bit. Won't be texting you during the game at all. Just be texting Henny, and we'll be like, reveling in your pain just without you. We've totally done that before. So
I will do that, but not with Ohio State. I can't bring myself to root for Ohio State. There's like nothing in me to root for Ohio State. Like if you win and you want to send me that shirt, I'll wear it even after you sweat in it. I don't care. I hate Ohio State. That's a miserable place. They can rot. So I'll be a Nittany Lion for a weekend for sure.
That's true. Your wife is a Michigander too, so
correct.
Can't be rooting on the Buckeyes for sure.
Correct.
When is that Michigan game, by the way, Ben?
November either 14th or 21st. I can't remember per se. No, wait, I might have been mixing those up. I think it's the 18th.
You may have a foe on the pod for that week, and that week only. That's right, John.
I honestly don't even have a problem with Michigan as much as I do Ohio State. Like so can I just indulge you in a nostalgic story for once? Like, not that I ever do this. I know, right? My hatred of Ohio State goes back to when I was 6 years old. I was just starting to get into football, and I was at this there was this sports workout place called the Summit. It was at the top of a hill. Cool name for pretty crappy workout place, but they had the world's biggest TV I'd ever seen as a kid. So my parents would go work out, and I'd go sit in front of what I thought was basically the biggest screen that existed in America. Well, they went on one Saturday, and it was when Ohio State was playing Penn State, and Penn State's freshman defensive back, Adam Telefero, got paralyzed in the fourth quarter. You don't see him much. So it does stick out. It's the first. I'm 6. I don't really think about it. And then Jim Tressel and his stupid sweater vest having ass, they go deep. They go for a legitimate 45-yard deep bomb on Penn State. The play after a dude literally is ambulanced off of a football field. And there's a bunch of dudes. I'm from Central PA, right? We're all everybody's rooting for the same team, and everybody's those motherfuckers. And it's that's just stuck with me for the rest of my life. And it's actually a really inspiring story. He walked again, 2 or 3 years later, but really crazy that it's literally I've hated them since I was super young because a dude got paralyzed and then they went deep. It was absolutely insane. It might have been 90, might have been 1999. I might have been 7. Who knows? I don't know what year Adam Telefero did it, but when you hate a team for reasons like that, it doesn't nothing compares to that. And I know they say we don't have a rival. They're real. Ohio is Michigan. It doesn't matter. I hate you more than anybody, Ohio State. Buck the fuck eyes. Let's go.
I think that's a great way to end the pod, right?
Fine by me. Fine by me.
All right, everybody. Well, let's roll with the Nittany Lions this week. What'd you say? Buck the fuck eyes?
Buck the fuck eyes.
Buck the fuck eyes, man. Buck the fuck eyes.
That's what we're going with this week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to go ahead and follow us on all the socials. We're on X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching this, go ahead and follow us there. We throw some shorts on there all the time too. Follow us on Facebook if you're over 40. And then just, tune in week in, week out, share it with a friend, share it with a family member. We're doing this every single week. Ben is going to be on the comeback this week because he's not been the ACC. You can bet on it. Big Pod says so. So does Little Pod. But, just keep tuning in. Other than that, we will talk to you later. Bye.
Little potted myself. Idiot.